Hunters across the country are boycotting Colorado because of recent legislation meant to curtail gun violence. Michael Bain, a producer for the Outdoor Channel, announced he will no longer film his 4 shows in Colorado, and hunters are joining the protests. Hunting outfitters say people began canceling trips after the legislation passed, the Colorado Springs Gazette reported, a watershed moment in the ongoing disaster of Obamacare, as Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius finally admits that health insurance premiums are rising because of the president's health insurance takeover. Sebelius's remarks come weeks before insurers are expected to begin releasing rates for plans that start on January 1, 2014, when key provisions of the health law kick in. A student photographed the unidentified creature from her bedroom window as it bounded through a park. The indistinct image shows a dark creature with 4 legs making its way across the park in Dorchester, Dorset. 17-year-old Terry Lee Cox caught a glimpse of the animal while looking out of her window and took a picture as it bounded along and scurried up a tree. The teenager insisted that it wasn't a dog or a cat. It was definitely a monkey, because you could tell by its hunched back and the way it scampered across the field and up the tree, she said. It could have escaped if someone was keeping it as a pet. A spokesman for a nearby monkey sanctuary was able to confirm that all of their animals were accounted for, and noted that the photograph was not clear enough to make a positive identification of the mystery creature. Cyprus plans to impose a daily cash withdrawal limit of $383 on Thursday, when the country's banks are expected to open for the first time in more than a week, says the state news agency. Each credit or debit card payment abroad will be capped at $6,391 a day, while no check will be cashed, though checks can be deposited in bank accounts, the agency said Wednesday. Meanwhile, armed police officers guarded several trucks carrying containers arriving at the country's central bank in Nicosia. A helicopter hovered overhead. Banks have been shut across the country since March 16 to prevent a run on deposits, while politicians worked out a new plan to secure an international bailout. Congress' current legislative fights over budgets, immigration, and gun control carry a special urgency for senators up for re-election next year, particularly for the many Democrats running in Republican-leaning states. Control of the Senate will surely hang on their fates. Waiting for them at home this week, in what's sure to be only the first of many such targeting examples, are ads from Mayor Michael Bloomberg's PAC in support of stricter gun control measures. These add to the cross-pressures they face, in knowing they will need to both motivate their base and woo some Republicans and conservatives over the next year in order to win. And today, Senator Tim Johnson, a Democrat, announced today he won't seek re-election next year, opening up yet another seat in a red state that Democrats will need to defend, and yet another race that promises a spotlight battle. It is, in sum, a tough landscape for Democrats that just got a little tougher